Hello, this is Nikki in Niagara, coming to you from Niagara Falls, Canada. And with the closing of April, it is time for me to bring to you my April finished pages. So, without further ado, we will get straight on to them. We have a large pile here, so let's go. So, first book is a color by number book, Happiness, and this is by Arpad Olby. And this is the picture I did here. I finally got to the one that is on the front cover. See? There we go. So I really love these books a lot. I will be continuing to work out of that next month. Now the Chibi Girls book is the one that I'm working on completing, but I only got to one page last month, and that was this one. I did a buddy color for this one, along with Bianca Hybrechts. I can't quite make the guttural sound that her name ends in, but it's Hybrechts. Sorry, Bianca, my best try. So yeah, this is a good one. We chose this one because we're both in dire need of haircuts. So I will continue working in that next month too. And if you'd like to do a buddy color in that book with me, just let me know. Send me an email or leave a comment. Then I worked in Mickey and Friends from the Le Carré d'Art Thérapie, and this is by Hachette Hiro. And I did this one here. This is my first picture in this book, so it also goes towards Color Your Hoard. And I am doing a lot. I am like working like mad, doing one page out of every book that I haven't colored in yet, which is a good majority of my books, as you'll find out from watching my book collection. But the book collection and the coloring are two separate hobbies in my mind, so yeah, so that's Color Your Hoard picture, and I love it. I love this book because this is the Disney that I grew up with, watching the world of, was it called the Wonderful World of Disney on TV. And yeah, we used to watch the shorts of all these great characters. That is Disney to me. And then in 50 Triangular Mandalas by Camellia Angelkova, one of my mandala groups was featuring Camellia last month, so I worked in as many of her books as I could this month. And I did another page in, oh yeah, I already told you the title, 50 Triangular Mandalas. Okay, so I did more than one. I did this one, and I did this one, and I believe, except for the yellow, these two are the same color palette. This has an extra blue in it, I think, to replace the yellow. So see how different you can make the same color palette, basically. And you want to see, I forgot to put in my blotter page. No matter how experienced I am at coloring with markers, there's always going to be a page or two each month that I forget to put it down. So this is the Godzilla Dots, Lines, and Spirals. I just had to get this because, I mean, how often do you get old school Godzilla stuff? And I watched Godzilla movies as a kid. They had Japanese monster movies on one of the station from Buffalo I used to watch. And yeah, so Godzilla and all those monster movies became my heroes. Or no, not my heroes, but I loved them. So, oh, this turns out so well on camera. You have to look at it at the right angle in person for it to come out. I just used a black highlighter, not highlighter, a fine liner, a black fine liner to do this. And I had to look it up because I recognize all the monsters, but I don't know half their names. This one is Baragon. Oh, I love the way it turns out on the camera. You can actually tell right here is where my first pen ran out and I started doing a different one, which obviously was a lighter, thinner fine liner. So that's all I've done in it. I don't really expect to work in this a lot, but I'm going to keep it out and just work in it whenever I feel like it. So that was Color Your Horde as well. So this was a Color Your Horde book, and I just started at the beginning with this because I couldn't pick a page, so I said, well, we'll start from the beginning. So I did this very simple page. I was using my Tombos. I just started from one row of my Tombos, and I just picked up the next color. They're not in any particular order because whenever I do put them in order, they end up getting mixed up. So I'm starting to learn them by their cap colors. And if you will notice, there is one guy in here who is a little different than all the others. I don't know if you can make it out or not, but it's this guy right here. He is eating a bowl of noodles. So I colored in his little bowl of noodles in brown too. So that was fun. I think I'll just work in order for this one too, because why not? It's hard to pick pictures. And then through the month I worked away on one of these using markers that I want to use up. So I was using the purple here, and we can see where it ran out. Well, I kind of got around here, and then it ran out, and I had to pick another marker that was as close as possible as I could, but it came out quite a bit darker. I am working on the next page. What the heck, I'll show you. This is my whip, and I thought my marker was going to last a lot longer than that. But I did a little test down here with a couple of markers, and I think I've found one that will work when this runs out, which will be soon. So that's for next month. You actually got to see a whip. Okay, so then I worked in Mystery Mosaics Cinema by Belba Family, and I just opened up. Sometimes when I do the first one, I'll just open, like especially with like the mystery coloring books, I will skip to a page in the middle to work on, because I will have seen the people putting their pictures on, and near everybody starts from the beginning in these. So I know what the first one is, so I didn't do it. I just opened up, and this is the one I got. I didn't recognize, well, I've never seen this movie, so but I had an idea of what I thought it was, and I asked when I uploaded it on Instagram, and I was right. It's Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I don't watch Brad Pitt movies. Never have, never will. Then I have a couple of PDFs here. This was Deborah Muller's April exclusive for the month, so I colored this one in, well, I guess I haven't been telling you what I use. So I used my Ohuhu markers and a bit of white gel pen. Looks like that's it. And then Jeff Haney put one of his pictures from his first coloring book online for us to color. So I did this one here. Okay, so next is Color Your Hoard. I worked in this MEHNDI Designs by Marty Noble, and I wasn't too sure if I was going to enjoy all the paisley in this book, but I did. I did this one right here, and I had a blast doing this. It actually doesn't even have any oh yes it does. It has 4 paisley shapes in it. I loved doing this one. It was so much fun that I went looking through the book to see if there was any more with the lady's head in the middle, and there is. There's a couple more like that. So yeah, this is one of my favorite colors this month, just because I love it. I love the color scheme and everything. And then one of the groups I'm in had a color along contest type of thing, and I think there was like 5 or 6 artists who were all co-hosting it, and they provided an exclusive picture, and then we entered that person's contest and so on. So I did a couple of these. Actually, I'm pretty sure the Jeff Haney one was for this. It was called Animalia anyways. And I'm pretty sure that Jeff Haney one I showed you was for the color along. This is Deborah Muller's entry, and I colored this picture for it. Then for Color Your Hoard, I did The Littlest Darlings. This is a Chibi Girl book, and this is the first one that I did. Her name is Lucy Starr, and she's all ready for bedtime. So I used my alcohol markers in this, some metallic silver, gold, and a brassy color. Those were the metallic pens. Then another PDF. I did actually a number of PDFs this month. This was for another group that I'm in, and there was a contest, and whoever won got their picture put in the header for the month, and I won. And this is it symbolizes autism. What makes you different is what makes you beautiful. My son is autistic, and I myself am on the spectrum with Asperger's. Worked in this for Color Your Hoard. The picture in here. This is the one I worked on. So just did this with my Tombos, and oh no, I didn't use my Tombos. I used the little chubby Crayola markers. They're like super tips, except they're shorter and fatter. Well, I have the multicultural set of those, and so I did each face one of the colors alternating, like going through the pack once and then restarting the pack a second time. And I probably just used a Crayola super tip for the red in the background. For Color Your Hoard. Sorry, Lovella, I'm going to have a lot of pictures in the video this month. I always enjoy watching those. So this is Flying Colors Magazine Volume 13. This was from November of, oh, yeah, it doesn't say what year. It says on sale until 11/13. Was this an old magazine? I don't know. My sister gave it to me. No, 2018. It's not that old. But anyways, my sister gave it to me. It wasn't exactly her thing. So I did this one. On this side of the page there's a quote, so they're basically single-sided. And this book is kind of interesting because it has a zendoodly bird, and then a pattern. Some of them being mandalas. And then a bird, and then a pattern. And then a bird, and a pattern. I guess that's why it's called flying colors, because of the birds. And I can't remember if this one was for Color Your Hoard. Oh, it must be, because I didn't. Okay, so this was my Color Your Hoard entry, and with mandala books I can't do just one, so I at least do two in a book. Oh, I made a boo-boo there. I colored the wrong section. Huh. Oh well. And I did that one, and that's it. These were actually fun to do. Wasn't too sure when I bought her books, the spirals and the swirly one, if I would like doing those, but all came out well in the end. Okay, so this is the magazine that I'm working on. This is Designing Colors, Volume 14. I bought this off of the newsstand whenever it came out, which was 2019, but it doesn't tell you what month. So I've been working on it since last year anyways, and I'm going in order, and I've done this much, and I have this much left. So I have less left than I did, so I'm just over halfway through it now. And this month's didn't quite turn out the way I liked it. I did this one, but I ended up doing some sleep coloring, and so I had to go over it, and my color pattern just didn't seem to gel with me, and I also did this pretty sloppily. So I said, no, I got to do another one that turns out better. So I did this one, and I really hate this one. I was using a certain set of markers, but I don't know, I can't tell which ones they are this time. But, oh, I know what I used. I used the Zebra Mild, the Zebra Mild liners. And if you're one of those people that they're highlighters that are in pastel shades, or as you can see, bright shades, they are actually called mild liners, not mid liners. Take a look, and it should have an L in there. If it actually is called mid liners, then you have fakes. It should have an L because they're called mild liners. And these are basically, you know what? Okay, so you just learned something about Zebra Mild liners. I didn't do this in those colors. This is Bic Intensity or other fine liners like the Shuttle Art fine liners, alcohol fine liners. Okay, Negla, that's enough. Stop talking about it. All right. Okay, so there you go. This one turned out messy, and the orange just basically wrecked it, but it was the only orange I thought would be appropriate. So, yeah. So I did two out of here, and I'm not happy with either of them, but c'est la vie. So the next one I am happy with, and this is for Color Your Hoard. I actually worked in both Pop Manga books. I've taken the dust jackets off because I don't like to get them wrecked. So the dust jackets just sit on the shelf with the book. So with this one, I did this page right here. And yeah, you can see it there. So for this, I have a small set. I've lost a few, so I think I have about 18 of the Lyra Aqua colors, and they are excellent water-soluble crayons. So for Mother's Day, I'm going to order myself the 40 set of Neo colors with the money that I'm getting. You can see I'm a part of the gift giving for Mother's Day. And if the Neo colors are better than the Lyra ones, I will be like stunned out of this world, because these are fantastic ones as well. And I've found that the Europeans use these more often than they do the Neo colors. So the inside part of it was done with a set of water-soluble crayons that I got off of AliExpress. And they're terrible. They don't mix with water at all. But I color with them and use odorless spinel minerals. Odorless mineral spirits with the bad water-soluble crayons, and it's like painting with them. Turns into a little bit of a paint that you spread around. And that's what I did the front with. That's what I did the picture with. So if you have some water-soluble crayons, some old ones that don't work very well, use them with odorless mineral spirits instead of water, and you'll find that they work really well. Nice vibrant colors. And then I worked in Fairy Miracles. Oh, why did I put it there? Part of me says I did this last month. Nope, I didn't do it that long ago, April 20th, huh? So, this is my second picture in this book. I am working from the beginning of the book. I did that one. I skipped that one because it's my favorite picture in the whole book, but from now on, going straight forward. I used a combination of Super Tips, of Tombows and Ohuhu markers, and then I put some stickles on their tails, the oranges, and the windows. So I don't know if you can, I'm not very good at this. Put it in my light. No, it's not sparkling. So actually, let's see if I can turn this up. Oh, 1, 2, 3. There, you can see a little better now. Sorry about that. This page is dark, so I'm about it. Some of the coloring's a little bit messy, but yeah. Okay, now next is a picture that I really don't want to see light of day, but I always show you guys what I work on, even the failures. So my sister and I did a buddy color out of this one. She picked the book and I picked the picture, so I have nobody to blame but myself. But I think I picked the hardest picture in the whole book. And I colored it with Black Widows. And I love the colors, and I love the colors in my picture, but I used too many colors and it's a hot mess. So are you ready? You might want to like cover your eyes and just peek through. So there we go. Yeah, I think if my problem is that I did the girl in colors that are not anywhere else on the page. I wanted her to be separated, but I should have probably gone with lighter colors so that I have no idea. I just did the back in so many different colors that I don't think I could have won with whatever I'd done the girl in, but I thought she'd stand out in purple, and looking at the picture, she just kind of blends into everything, looking at it through the camera. I don't know, can you, let me see her bra. And, no wait, her bra is here. Oh yeah, I can't even see that. I can't even really make her out on camera. Can you guys make her out? Yeah, so it is what it is. I had a ton of fun coloring the snake using a technique that Color with Claire did on coloring snake skin. Now this snake has no scales, which is what her technique was for coloring scales, but I used the same technique to color in the sections of this snake. So that part was good and fun and taught me something. So that was Color Your Horde, but it's not going to show up on the video because I did not upload that picture to Instagram. Then, with Deborah Muller coming up last month, with me thinking about Deborah Muller coming up in May, it just made me want to color her, so I did a couple out of here. I did this one, and I used my Ohuhus and a couple of glitter pens for that one. The quote to go with it is, "She fell asleep and got lost in Wonderland." And then I did this one. I used the purple in her hair as a metallic marker, so I thought I would give that a try. I think it's Sargent Art metallic markers. And her lips, I did with the Ohuhu markers, and then I went over them with, I don't know, does it sparkle? I don't know how people do that. Oh, there, you can see it sparkle. Okay, so then I went over it with a, what did I go over that with? That's kind of thick. It's not Stickles. I think I went over it with a Zig Wink of Stella, the pink one. Yeah, so a bit of gel pen in there. So this first one that I did up here, this one was Color Your Horde. And Color Your Horde again. Almost every book I colored this month I picked off of my shelf for Color Your Horde. So I have a set of these books. There's 4 of them all together. This one's Dark Beauty, and they're by Galina Haisahi. And I did this girl right here. She is the mad girl. Look on her face. Looks like she's totally PO'd. I had fun doing her. Okay, another Color Your Horde, and this one didn't actually turn out the way I envisioned it. I wanted to do the Manticore in reds and oranges, but it didn't come together the way I envisioned. I did the back in black alcohol marker and outlined the bats because they disappeared when I put the black down. Stickles on the Moon. And I did went over a lot of the black lines with Sakura Decorez. So yeah, it looks kind of like a child's. It looks kind of childish because it didn't come out. But it's alright. I don't hate it. Okay, so another book in the Galina Haisahi. This one is Beauty is Magic. And this goes on to Color Your Horde. So this was the first picture this month that I got my Lyra aqua colors out. And I did this background with 2 shades of green. I really like how it turned out. The butterflies are done in Decorez glitter, and I used my fine liners for the greenery. So this one I'm really pleased with. This turned out nicely. Yep. Okay, then I worked in Camellia Angel Cova's spiral mandalas, but this I had already worked in it before, so not a first picture. I did this one. And I really, this one I like how it turned out. And I did this one, which isn't too shabby. Okay, so I have another PDF, and this was Coloring Heaven's subscribers only PDF by the author of the, not the author, the illustrator of the month for the magazine Fantasy Princesses. So this is by Jash Lee, and I decided to color it, and I was feeling the mood for it, so it's just done in my Ohuhus, and nothing special about it except for that I covered the lines of all the water that's kind of splashed around the picture, and I used a light blue Decorez. And then ever since I fell in love with this book, I've been working in it every month, so I got 2 done this month. I did, whoops, I think I'm going in order now. So I did this one. I did sleep coloring in this one, so the bottom of it turned out kind of messy. If you look at it, there's red in the green and green in the red, and I went over them, and you can still see the scribbles underneath, and one went out onto the white there, and it just wouldn't erase all the way. The colorless blenders are really good, and I use them a lot, but red is just you know what. So then I had already done a page, so I skipped over that and did this one. And this page is here to give testimony to the fact that Stickles does not fix everything. When I first started this, I envisioned it having a pale blue background, which I think would have looked really nice with the primary colors I chose. And I should have stuck with it, but as I started coloring it, I realized that the background was divided up into the rays of the sun. The sun's circle is here, and then it goes out into the rays. So I chose to use lighter colors than the main color. So I went with a light orange and yellow, and it looks atrocious. Just absolutely atrocious. So I thought, hey, I know I can fix it. I'll put some stickles on it. And no. It made my page all warpy too, but the benefit of me, well, I don't think I wrecked it by adding the stickles. It just made it a hotter of a hot mess. But the benefit of all that is that my page gets to make this wonderful sound. I love crinkled paper. So yeah, that's all I've done in this one this month, keeping that out because I love that book. Then the Gothic Alchemy special of Coloring Heaven. This one was a big hit or a big miss with people. I don't do this kind of grayscale coloring. I'm a whoops, let's skip past those. I'm a Jade Summer grayscale kind of girl, so these, I just looked at them and I'm like, oh my god. But I saw it as an opportunity. I mean, it's just a magazine when it all boils down to it just being a magazine. Usually magazines are disposable, though this one isn't. I thought, I'm going to try it. I'm going to challenge myself. I am going to try this thing. So, I did. Which one? Yes, okay. I did this one first. And I really liked how it turned out. I did black and red for my roses, and then had my black come down here, and then I just used green, one green for the leaves. So 3 colors, and almost everybody did this picture. I think it was the least intimidating one, And it definitely was a good one to start with. So then I decided to go on and try something a little bit more complex. So I did this one. And I really, really enjoyed coloring her. My colors are a little bit dark for grayscale, but she just needed to be dark for me. In my mind, I saw her as dark hair, dark clothes. So she's got a very dark, let's say a dark ultramarine for her dress, because it's not navy. And then this is like a wine color, and it's like, I don't know, some sort of creature is sleeping behind her. The only thing I didn't know what to do was the background, because there's no way I'm going to color in all these faint little things. There's like trees and I don't know. There were some weird things on the back, but there was no way I was going to color all that. And my sister told me, don't leave it blank, because I was thinking I'd just leave it gray. And so, anyways, in the end, I used Distress ink. I think I used Shabby Shutters from the color of it. But it may have been, what's that other one called? Yeah, I don't know. There's a darker green. It was probably that. So yeah, Distress ink for the background, and I'm going to do that for the other ones too. Like if, like this, I'm not going to color in the background stuff. I'll go over it with, or I could use pastels too, soft pastels. So that was a lot of fun. And then, what's this one? So this is where I put PDFs. Oh, okay. So I have the Crayola Naturescapes in here, and you receive these as single pages. So I put them in here, and I did this page right here. Guess it's a little bit dark, but I can't really do much about that. Wish that weren't a yellow light. There we go. It's showing up much better. So yeah, I started with a dark yellow. It went to a darker yellow, kind of a yellowish green, and then brown. And then the sunflower is a like marigold color. And then I went with a lighter, like a still dark, but a brighter yellow for the bee. So it's pretty much a color family going on there. And then the bee did have, you could notice in some places, like around here, oh, and here, where the bee overlapped the flower, you could tell that they had left an outline around the whole bee. So I kept that up while I was coloring. I made sure I didn't go right to the edges. And then I covered up the white line that I'd made, or that they'd made. I went over it with a white charcoal pencil to make it blend in, so it didn't just look like the page peeking through. It looks like it belongs there. Excuse me, my voice is going. You know what? I just have to reach over here for my drink, and I'm gonna do that if you guys don't mind. So here I go. And I've got it, and I'm coming and sitting down, so didn't really go anywhere. If you watched my haul, you may have seen the next two books. This is a kid's color by number book that is pixels, and this is like, these are what the pictures are like. So, I mean, I don't know how young of a child can make color in squares that size. But, oh, I guess some of them are even smaller. But yeah, the full page ones are that size. So, you know, let's say 5 and up. But I had a blast coloring from it. I actually did goof up on the first picture, though. I was blabbing away to my husband, and I ended up coloring all this blue, brown, So it kind of wrecked the picture because you can't have your background color change halfway through. But I think it was going to be a vase full of bulrushes, or cat's tails, whatever you call them. So yeah, I just decided, no, gonna skip that. And I'll probably tear this page out. But I want it to be fully transparent and let you guys see what happened to the page and myself. But this is the one I did, and it's a cactus. I did not know what this was until I finally had it done. Thought it was going to be a watermelon. I had no idea what it was going to be at other points, but once I had done it and took a look at it, I went, oh my god, it's a cactus. So that was fun. So, I mean, I'm a cheap date. I used to always say that to my husband when we were dating, because it doesn't take much to please me. Used 7 colors, and all the palettes in here are like that. 6. Oh, this one's got 9. But, you know, and there's nothing to tell you what the pictures are, so they're a complete mystery. There is another book of these, which I'm going to get, and they have a big one, but I am pretty sure that the big one is just these 2 smaller ones combined together to make one big book. I don't want to chance it because it's quite a bit more than those, which are 6 Canadian, so they're probably like $3.99 on the American site. Then Satch Diva did a new color by number book. This one is for adults, and I started it. So actually the last picture of the cactus was a Color Your Hoard, and this one is too. I did the first picture. He has a color scheme that is the same all the way through the book. And I did this first page with my regular size alcohol permanent markers. So yeah, I've got like 3 or 4 or 5 brands that I'm using, so I just use, it's a mixture of them all. Yeah, so that's the next picture. So there's some pretty detailed ones in here, and then there's also less detailed ones too, like that, or, well, they're all quite detailed. And then I think my favorite book in the world, and while I was coloring this, I just said to myself, I could color Erie all month. I could just sit down and do nothing but color Erie. So this is her new book, which isn't out in English as of this time. Nobody knows if it will eventually. If it does, I think I might buy it because I would like to have all the front matter in English so I knew what it said. So, besides that, I've taken off the dust jacket, and the first thing I did was a page inside the book. I just kind of started at the beginning, turned a couple of pages. I was looking for a single page picture, and there aren't too many in this because there's a lot of double page spreads in here. So this is the one I did, and I used my Color Soft pencils, and the pencils on this paper were a dream. I'm not much of a pencil person, and I have a couple of brands of pencils. I used my Premiers, my Prismacolors, and my Black Widows the most. But I wanted to get out my Color Softs, and the way they worked on this paper, I finally understand what the pencil colorists mean when they say that these pencils work well on this paper, because it's so true. I mean, I've been, last couple of months I've been doing a few pictures in pencil. I just kind of get into a pencil mood, and it's so true that which brand of pencils you use on what paper makes a difference. But the Color Softs on this paper is to die for. So this is straight coloring in here. So if it looks like I did any blending or anything like that, it was simply using a blender pencil. But yeah, it's one layer, not pushing hard, using a blender pencil, straight coloring, except for the roses. I did a little technique that I learned where you use two colors, one dark, one light, to make fancy roses. So I just had to work in here again, so I went back to the beginning and I did these 2 pages. These are kind of like the opening spread. And on these pages I used I have a 24 set of Koh-i-Noor. This is just not shining well. That's not going to work if you can see it. Okay. It is a muggy day outside. It's overcast. It was raining in the night. And it just doesn't look very inviting, so it's not working well with the natural light. So yeah, the Koh-i-Noor Polycolors is what I used for this. I had 24 colors to use, and I had no problem coloring both these pages using only those 24 colors. So that goes to show me that I don't need the 120 sets of everything. I mean, I have a full 150 set of Prismacolors, so I'm never going to go wrong with that. So if I'm using a set of crayons and pencil crayons and I don't have the right color, I can just move over to a different set and pick the color out of there. So that's the importance of swatching. You can find your color, then go get it. I really enjoyed coloring these. The Koh-i-Noors worked well. And those are the only oil pencils I have ever used. So I knew I liked them because I've used them in the past, like way before YouTubing, that this is the first time I've used them since I started YouTubing, and I love them. So the first picture I showed you was A Color Your Hoard. So I got out another one of the Crayola books. These are meant for adults, these Art with Edge ones, like older children, or it says 5+ on it, but the Art with Edge series was when they came out with their adult coloring stuff, so think teens to adults. And this is called Sugar Skulls Cranorama, and this is the dude that I did. I'm not into sugar skulls, but these are a heck of a lot of fun. And there's lots of bones in this book, so I really like it. I ended up using a cream color for the bones, and I like it. So these are just my Ohuhus. I had just received my my Pentel Sparkle Pops, or dual metallics, whatever you call them. So I did his nose ring, and I love the colors that came out of there. And I used a Crayola glitter pen to go all around the marker. I mean, Crayola glitter marker to go all the way around it. That's for Color Your Hoard. Now, while I was working on my, I'm going to have to go fast to finish these off. While I was working on my coloring book collection, I came to this book and found out that I didn't have a picture colored in it. Now I had already been through all the Joanna Basford books and done A Color Your Hoard with them to make sure they had at least one page colored. This one didn't have any. I'd somehow missed it, so I came back to it right away and colored a picture in it, and I did this one. And I used glitter gel pens for that. So, I'm finding that fine liners do bleed through on this paper, so I'll pretty much be using glitter pens when I need a fine liner, or actually gel pens, because I don't mind the ones that are normal. Okay, Animal Mosaics, Jessica Mazurkowitz, Color Your Hoard. And I used Staedtler pencils, which are terrible. They give less pigment than the Crayola crayons, but I used them alongside Mineral Spirits, and look at how bright and vivid the colors turned out to be. So I thought I was going to have to just toss those pencils, well, give them to a thrift store. But if they color like this, there's no reason to. I like mosaics. Okay, so again, another Chameleon Angel Kova book. I did this one. So I liked that. Got out my Deborah Muller's Spring Awakening. I only work in this through spring, but I only did one picture. Or did I? No, I didn't. I did a couple. This one is extremely messy. I hate showing that. But yeah, sometimes when I'm working away at night and just, you know, turning my brain off, I have one of those brains that never turns off, I end up coloring sloppily. This one turned out much better. And that's it. I'm going to keep this out and color in it throughout summer, I think, even though it's spring. And then Joanna's new book, Flourish, it's a free PDF mini book. I did this. And I used fine liners for the whole thing. Normal water-based fine liners. I have a mixture of them. Now this next book I did not enjoy coloring in, and I am going to tear out the pages that I colored and give it away because I just have no desire to color any other pictures. So first of all, I tried using water color pencils and plopping down color. Didn't like it. Had too many colors. Thought I'd just rip it out. So I thought, well, let's go with like a mandala and use a color palette. So I did this one. Turned out okay, but I didn't have any fun coloring it. And just going through the book and seeing like basically the same thing but different throughout the book, I have no desire to color in it. So I will be giving that book away. That's one thing that's good about the Color Your Hoard, is you find those books. So I found out that there was a picture in here that had been started way back in the day before I started YouTubing. So I decided that I get that finished and do a Color Your Hoard. So I did this one. These 3 circles were kind of scribbled on with a water-based marker that was a light turquoisey color. So I went over them. There is some marks going outside of the circle because, well, that one bled, but the other one, it's from the scribble, so there wasn't anything I could do about it. So I made up a color palette that incorporated that color that covered up the marker, and there it is. So this book is 110 illustrations from 55 artists. So I'll tell you who did this page. It is by Mary Margaret Marks. Mary Margaret Marks is the illustrator of that. We were celebrating Satch and Satch Diva in our Color by Number group this last month, so you've already seen the one book I did by him. I worked in every book of his that I have except for the Halloween one. So this is Color Your Hoard, and I did a few in here. These are really nice mandalas and simple mandalas, and they have up to a 7 color palette, and I was choosing some odd colors for the colors I used. That's my favorite. That one turned out really nice. And there you go. Gonna keep that one out too. Okay, so I worked in Love Treats. I've got this about half done already, but I pulled it out to do another one. This is a Valentine's book. So I did that one. And I did this one. And these are a lot of fun as well. And then for Color Your Hoard, I started A Day at the Circus. Oh no, I didn't. I'd already done stuff in here. So I did this one, and unfortunately my gray marker, like I started here and it was great, and then all of a sudden it started getting streaky and it just lost its color. So I could not find anything remotely similar. So I just went in with another gray that was as close as I could get, and it's not very close. And there I colored it. Would have been a nice picture if I hadn't done that. So these are other pictures I've done in it. So for skin in here, he doesn't tell you what color to use. He says skin color. So you can, if your child is working in this book and you yourself, you can automatically go for your own skin color, which I think we do a lot. Or you can choose what color of skin he's going to have. So I decided to use a darkish brown for his skin, and but you could have even gone in with blue or green or purple and made him an alien clown if you wanted. So Satch and Satch Diva, I worked in this one. This is a pixel book. So I did the first one here. This one is a Color Your Award. And then, why on earth did I skip a page? I think I just turned that over. Yeah, because I thought I was going in order here. So then I did the dolphin. Oh no, I appear to be skipping pages. Dolphin, and I believe this is a flying fish. And that's it. I'm going to keep that one out. And this is from March. I forgot to show this in March, but I did this one. This was my Easter picture for the year, and I also did one way back here. This one. I did this one in March as a buddy color with Misty Lackey. Here we are. Yes, I hope I'm pronouncing her last name correct. So yes, the two of us did this as a buddy color. She did hers all in glitter pen, and it's amazing. I just can't do that. I'm afraid I'll use up my pens. So yeah, one more to go, and then we made it. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to make the hour as well. I try not to do videos over an hour, because unless it's going to be like an hour and a half. So anyways, I kind of went all out. Tried to get mixed media-ish on this one. This is Color Your Horde, and this is from Pop Manga Mermaids. And I used gelatos, colored, activated with mineral spirits, so that they made a paste that I basically painted with. And the background is my Lyra aqua colors. So I used a couple of colors in the background here. It didn't quite work the way I wanted to. I did these wrong. If I'd done this the same as I did this, it would have worked out, but my error there. Then I went over all the basic outline, and then all the sketching lines inside with a black charcoal pencil, and the crown is done in glitter. It's not showing up. It's incredibly glittery though. So there we go. That is my last book, and since I have less than a minute left, I am going to say goodbye. I hope you enjoyed it and had, perhaps you were inspired by something. And in the meantime, until next time, bye!